Well, thank you, Troy. So what we have here loaded up into Media Composer right now is a full 45-minute sit-down interview show, kicking it with Micah. And what we've done is we've really condensed it down to just the 2 dialogue channels.
Correct.
Now, this show would have music, it would have other effects in it and things like that, but we're really focused on the dialogue here. And what Troy and Wayne asked me to do for this demo today was to come in ahead of time and look at the first segment, a 10-minute segment, and do what I would do if I were sitting at an Avid with only myself and the tools that were available to me through the basic whatever comes in the box Avid. You've got your audio mixer and you can adjust the clip gain per channel. You've got basic audio plugins like compressors and EQ, things like that. But I was challenged to go through here and as quickly as possible, take this 10-minute segment and make it a little more broadcastable. And what you can see here, I'm going to turn these volume indicators off so the waveforms are easier to see. When they don't really spread out, it means you're hearing quiet sound. Small waves equals small sound. Conversely, when you see big, bold waves that jump way high, way low across the spectrum, that's loud.
How long did it take to draw in all this?
You challenged me to do it as quick as I could. This is a 10-minute segment. I went through and did 2 lines of cutting in about 25 to 30 minutes. And I didn't do a very good job. So what I've done here is I've gone through in every single one of these lines that you see in both of these tracks. This is audio 1, which is the interviewer. This is audio 3, which is the interviewee. Every single one of these edits that you see represents me stopping, me adjusting the levels, and moving on to the next point where I wanted to adjust again.
There's no loudness meter even in Media Composer or most nonlinear editing systems. In fact, Pro Tools doesn't even come with a loudness scope. So even though Chris has done this and re-leveled it relatively, it still may not pass the spec when they send it to the network.
There's no way to really guarantee that you're getting it exactly right. And especially in a situation where you don't have a lot of time to turn things around, it's very hard to dial that in. And even plugins like, you've got these compressors that Avid includes. This is just basic through, it's run through the Audio Suite engine. It doesn't adjust the threshold dynamically. Correct. You just preset it and it just sits on top of it.
And no compressor. There are no compressors out that do this, by the way.
So basically everybody's seen how many edits this takes and how long it would take to go through this segment and make these edits manually. And I've been doing this for a long time. So we're going to be focusing on these lavender colored channels here, which are the actual channels that we're working with, unprocessed. I'm going to add edit marks at the top and the tail of where I want to process. So here I want to do just for example, I want to do a 2-minute chunk. So I've set a 2-minute chunk here, and then I'll set in point and out point. And the wonderful thing about ESION that editors love is that it acts like the export settings for any number of media exports through Avid. You can have it only export selected tracks and ins to outs. So you're not forced to every time export the entire program, all the channels that are in your sequence. We'll take this 2-minute chunk and we'll run it through here. And the way we can do that is very simple. You find your sequence in your bin. For this purpose, this particular sequence we're looking at here is called Kicking It with Micah for demo undipped. Very easy. It's a drag and drop process. So we move it here. It exports it.
Now we got to pick our settings.
Pick our settings. So
pick one where we want to deliver to.
Yeah, I work for NBC Golf a lot, so that's typically my preset. And then we also have the option to turn noise reduction on or off, and has different levels. We can talk about that later. And leveling and loudness. Do you want to explain that a little bit?
Yeah, the leveling and loudness is going to do 2 things. It's going to do a lot of what Chris did manually, all with AI, plus a dynamics chain that we've created will kick in. We can make our delivery spec.
Okay, now I'm going to process that in the background. All I would have to do once I have my selection is hit the process button,
go.
And then, there it goes.
And it's done.
And it's done.
So
and
now,
once it's done, what happens? It jumps you right back to Avid. It's like a watch folder, basically.
Exactly.
And it asks you how you want to bring it in, and it'll default to what your sequence settings are. So in this case, it's 29.97 drop frame, and editors know their favorite button is OK to all. So we hit that button, and it'll bring it into a bin called ESION process that it will create if it doesn't already exist in the project.
It creates that automatically.
Now I'm going to turn this clip a completely different color. Let's make it yellow so people can see the difference.
And we're going to now Chris is going to bring it back into the timeline. the processed audio.
So I process the audio, the unprocessed audio that has a lot of lows and some highs. So here's the highs, here's the lows. I process channels 1 and 3, but I'm going to put these on channel 2 and 4 so you can compare from top to bottom and see what the processed versus unprocessed looks like.
Exactly.
So we've got that audio here. I'm going to edit onto one.
Bam.
And now you can see the yellow, which I just changed colors, is the clip that I just brought in. And the biggest dynamic change you can certainly see is on the interview subject here, where just look at the difference between the purple line, which is his natural unprocessed audio. Very quiet. Remember, waveforms that are small equals volumes and levels that are very small, small sound. But it's taken that, and it hasn't grown it to a gigantic size.
In fact, you can, if you zoom in right there, the other thing you'll see, so the blue one, naturally, she falls off there. She talks and her emotion falls off a little bit. We can play it, but we don't get rid of that. Ours falls off too. So this is the huge thing why people love the sound of ESION, is it doesn't destroy it. Can you just play A1
Absolutely.
right
I just
there?
want to make sure we have everything else turned off.
Soloed.
Okay. So we will solo. This is just the unprocessed version of the interviewer.
You're talking about giving back to the family. I would assume that you've probably been giving back to your family for a long time. So why do you why don't you feel like that's enough?
So she naturally fell off. Now let's play the processed version only.
You're talking about giving back to the family. I would assume that you've probably been giving back to your family for a long time. So why do you why don't you feel like that's enough?
So you can hear like it's leveled, it's clear, but we still have her emotion in it.
Yeah.
Let's go to 43:29:17.
Okay.
And zoom in.
I can admit it now, but I thought my career was, and the way CBS was.
And then play the processed version. And you'll hear we retain that natural dynamic.
I can admit it now, but I thought my career was, and the way CBS was able to spin it.
Those dynamics are retained. I just want to quickly scroll through the whole show so they can just sort of focus on the grays to the purple, and just sort of you can just see what the processing looks like. We'll do this very fast. We're not going to play it.
Yeah, the processed audio is the channel underneath the purple. So
so you're just seeing
up.
sort of like what it's doing. You can see even right there. There's a big peak. It's solving that, but it's also retaining again some quiet areas. The dynamic, the shapes are there still.
This makes a huge difference when it comes to centering audio and integrating it into a field mix when you've already got music. The big thing that we run into a lot when we're in the field is we have dynamic pieces of music. We want to keep the energy up, but then maybe you're dealing with voiceover or dialogue from an interview track that just doesn't cut it and it doesn't push through. And something like this is an easy solution that cleans it up, focuses it, centers it, makes it dynamic, and it's not being hidden by the music. So you don't have to crush the music down and lose all the energy of your piece in order to just save the dialogue.
And the biggest thing too is it's saving these companies time and money, which is the critical component of everything. Last thing I want to show is channels 5 through 8, the noise reduction. This will be very quick. So we see 5 through 8 down there, and we're going to go to time code
here we are.
37:51:17.
Okay, so what we're going to do, I'm going to turn this one off. And then we'll undo.
So this section of the interview had a bunch of noise in it.
So I'll zoom in a little bit closer so you can see. This should be, if it was a clean room, this should be just a flat line. So I'll play those, and you should be able to hear the noise. Lovely noise.
So let's go back to your 10-year plan for a second. So we've done 5 together, which is crazy to me, by the way, when I think about what we've done 5 together.
And you can hear the noise even through the dialogue, which is really annoying to an editor, because you can't notch that out without starting to make their dialogue sound hollow.
Right. And a lot of noise reduction is very tricky. Often it's hard to set. Ours is made for speech. It's all it does, and it's been programmed to do it for you. So let's listen now to
Now we're going to listen to channels 6 and 8, which we pre-processed for you with a noise reduction filter. Not off, but on.
You could choose to leave no noise or a little bit. We did leave a little bit because it feels natural.
This is kind of a moderate to maximum.
Correct.
Yeah. But extreme would take it all the way down.
It would.
But this keeps the room alive.
Yeah, you don't want
to have a live room. You don't want to have a dead room.
Correct.
So it still gives you that hint that you're in a live room, but it removes that annoying background noise, and this is the difference.
So let's go back to your 10-year plan for a second. So we've done 5 together, which is crazy to me, by the way, when I think about what we've done 5 together.
So that sound you didn't hear was the air conditioning system in the room. ESION did a great job of filtering that out and not destroying the dynamic of the dialogue that it was playing over top of
The
it.
other thing it does that I love is it doesn't get rid of all of the other non-speech sort of like elements, which is huge. I mean, you know, a lot of these noise reductions, even from Isotope, they just, once you hit dialogue isolate, it kills everything, even breaths, even, you know,
plosives, end of syllables.
Stuff you want.
It's the opposite.
Correct.
This does the opposite of killing dialogue.
Correct.
It still accentuates all the quiet parts of the dialogue, but can focus in on the non-essential noise in the background and tell the difference.
And literally, when this show was done, we didn't get one note on the dialogue. It was only the manager of the guest saying, "Oh, I don't want him to talk about his dad there."
Getting those kind of notes from producers, that's time consuming too. So if I'm focused on spending hours dealing with leveling and noise reduction and all the things with only the tools at my disposal through a stock Avid setup, then I have to still fix all those fixes on top of it. So it gives the editor and the whole production team more flexibility, more time.
You're going to get rid of clip gain, volume automation for the most part. So,
if I had this on the road for the live events that I do on a regular basis, this would be a game changer.